Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boxing fans, all ages, how you doing? Welcome to No Nonsense Boxing. I'm your host, Tarek Higgins. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. As you see, it's going down January 15th at 10 p.m. Joe Smith Jr. versus Steve Geffrard for the WBO World Light Heavyweight Championship on ESPN, ESPN Plus. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the fight, we got some boxing news, ladies and gentlemen. Because of boxing news, it went down last week. We had two good fights last week. Let's get into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had I'm getting this thing here. If I can get into it, there you go. We had a good fight here by Kaunowski Promotions on Fight TV. We had Damian Kanaba versus Zen Arjour. Okay, Damian Kanaba's a big boy, man, 6'7". Knocked out Arjour in the first round. As you see in the bottom picture, that's Damian Kanaba versus picture with Jarrell Big Baby Miller, who's also making a return real soon back to boxing after his suspension. Okay, so Damian Kanaba is still undefeated. He's an upcoming boxer, heavyweight boxer, and keep an eye on him, man. He's a big guy. He's a strong guy. Like I said, man, knocked out Arjour in the first round of the fight. It was a 10-round bout on Fight TV. Nice little card, you know, of amateur boxers. Like I said, man, if you want to watch it, go on Fight TV. You can watch it again on replay on Fight TV. We also had a good fight on Showtime as well, ladies and gentlemen. Good fight as well on Showtime. It was the Rumble at Caribbean Royale. Luis Nunez versus Carlos Ariete. Look, man, Luis Nunez took him out in the 10th round, knocked him out in the 10th round. There's a picture of Luis Nunez, up-and-coming boxer, man. Like I said, he got some skills, got some power. It was a very good card on ShowBox or Showtime. If you missed it, man, I tell you, it was a very good card. A lot of surprises, you know what I'm saying, on the card. But like I said, Luis Nunez is still undefeated. And like I said, knocked out undefeated Carlos Ariete. Carlos Ariete suffered his first defeat to Nunez on January 7th as well. So there's a picture of Luis Nunez. Very good fighter, man. Very good. I liked what I saw from him. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we also, let me get this off here. We also got some news, man. I don't know how I missed this, but Mr. David Diamante, the ring announcer for DAZN, got into a serious motorcycle accident. Let's get into it on TMZ Sports. It says David Diamante, boxing announcer, seriously injured in motorcycle crash. Famous boxing announcer David Diamante was reportedly critically injured in a serious motorcycle accident this week, but thankfully he's alert and good spirits. Diamante, who's worked for ESPN, DAZN, Showtime, HBO, the Brooklyn Nets, and more, was riding on the street beneath the Brooklyn Queens Expressway when the accident took place, according to Boxing Scene. The 50-year-old was rushed to a local hospital where he was treated for multiple broken ribs and fractures to the spine, and as well as serious damage to his knee, the outlet reports. Diamante underwent a 5-hour procedure on Tuesday where screws, rods, and cadaver parts were placed in his spine. Wow. But the good news is that Diamante is already talking about kickstarting his recovery and getting back on his feet. It's going to be a tough road, he told the outlet. It's a bad injury, and getting better will take some time. This will be a struggle. I'll have to learn to walk again, and right now there's a risk of complications, but I have a positive attitude and will back as soon as possible. Michael Buffer also says he spoke with Diamante, saying his fellow announcer is very optimistic. David's a fighter and has met big challenges in his life. This will be another one. Diamante is a legend in combat sports and is known for his trademark phrase, "The fight is on." He most recently worked the Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora fight on December 18th. Get well soon. Yes, man. I don't know how I missed that. We're going to definitely miss David Diamante. in the ring at Dazin. Like I said, man, a very, very, from what I can see, man, looks like a very nice guy, and look at he has his own style too, man. I love the hair, man. He says he wears it because he smokes weed. He says he has his hair like that because he smokes weed and he's a hippie. Yes, he says he loves it. That's his style, man. But anyway, man, we're gonna miss him. Hope get well soon, David Del Monte. Like I said, man, you're a very good ring announcer for Dazin. They're definitely gonna miss you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the fight. The upcoming fight. Let's get into the upcoming fight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the upcoming fight and some boxing news, some more boxing news. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, January 15th, this coming Saturday at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in New York, United States of America on ESPN. Like I said, also ESPN Plus, Joe Smith Jr. versus Steve Geffrard. Steve Geffrard, okay? Steve Geffrard stepped in this fight late. He was a later placement for Caleb Johnson, okay? That would have been a very good fight, but Steve Geffrard said he's not scared to come in last minute and mix it up with Joe Smith Jr. He says he can pull off the upset. So we're gonna see, man. I haven't checked anything on Steve Geffrard. Haven't seen any tapes on him, but I'm definitely gonna do that before I watch the fight. So anyway, like I said, man, Joe Smith Jr. comes in the ring with 27 wins, 3 losses, 0 draws, and Steve Geffrard comes in the ring with 60 wins, 2 losses, 0 draws. But let's get into a further of their record, okay? So the tape right here, man. Joe Smith Jr. is 32 years old, stands at 6 feet tall. He's an orthodox fighter, and Steve Geffrard is 31, stands at 6'2", orthodox. Both right-hand fighters, so this is going to be a very interesting fight. Joe Smith Jr. comes in with 27 wins, 21 by knockout, and 78% of his are KOs. Okay, he has 3 losses, 1 stoppage, 0 draws. He debuted his boxing career in 2009 and has 135 pro rounds. Okay, Steve Geffrard comes in with 16 wins, 11 by KO. He has a 69% KO percentage, 2 losses, 1 stoppage, 0 draws. Made his debut in 2013. He has 65 pro rounds. So Joe Smith Jr. has more pro rounds than Steve Geffrard. Okay, let's see what's going on in the rankings. Okay, so Joe Smith Jr. is ranked number 3 in the ring. He's not ranked by the WBA or WCW or IBF, and Steve Geffrard is not ranked by anybody at the present moment. Let's see what's going on. Okay, when is Smith Jr. versus Steve Geffrard? Joe Smith Jr. is set to face the challenge of Steve Geffrard on Saturday, January 15, 2022 at Turning Stone Resort and Casino in New York. The fight will take place over 12 rounds in the light heavyweight division, which means the weight limit will be 175 pounds. This contest is for the WBO Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. Okay, Steve Smith Jr. Joe Smith Jr. Joe Smith Jr. versus Steve Geffrard stats. Joe Smith Jr. steps to the ring with a record of 27 wins, 3 losses, 0 draws, 21 of those wins coming by the way of knockout. Steve Geffrard will make his way to the ring with a record of 16 wins, 2 losses, 0 draws, with 11 of those wins by knockout. The stats suggest Joe Smith Jr. has a slight advantage in power over Geffrard with a 78% knockout percentage over Geffrard's 69. Okay. Joe Smith Jr. is the older man by 1 year, and at 32 years old, Geffrard has a height advantage of 2 inches over Smith Jr. Both Joe Smith Jr. and Steve Geffrard fight out an orthodox stance. That's going to be interesting to watch. Smith Jr. is the more experienced professional fighter, having had 12 more fights and made his debut in 2019, 3 years and 3 months earlier than Geffrard, whose first professional fight was in 2013. He has fought 70 more professional rounds, 135 to Geffrard's 65. Joe Smith Jr. goes into the fight ranked number 3 by the ring at light heavyweight. Okay. Let's see here. Joe Smith Jr.'s Geffrard form. Smith Jr. has beaten 3 of his last 5 opponents, stopping 1 of them going the distance twice. In his last fight, he won against Maxim Blasov on April 10th, 2021, but majority decision in their WBO World Light Heavyweight Championship fight at Osage Casino, Oklahoma, United States. Previous to that, he won against Elder Alvarez on August 22nd, 2020, by knockout in the 9th round at the Bubble MGM Grand Nevada. Going to this contest, he had beat Jesse Hart on January 11th, 2020 by split decision in 10th round contest in their 10th round contest at Mark G. Etes Arena Hard Rock Hotel Casino in New Jersey. Before they had beaten Dmitry Bivol on March 9, 2019 by unanimous decision in the WBA World Lightweight Heavyweight Championship fight at Turning Stone Resort and Casino in New York. He had lost to Sullivan Barrera on July 15, 2017 by unanimous decision in their 10-round contest at Forum Inglewood. Okay, let's look at the activity check. Okay, activity check. Smith Jr.'s last 5 fights have come over a period of 4 years, 5 months, and 25 days, meaning he's been fighting on average every 10 months and 23 days. And those fights, he fought a total of 53 rounds, meaning that they have lasted 10.6 rounds on average. What times does the fight start? The fighters are expected to ring walk around 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time at Turning Stone Resort and Casino, New York, United States, which is around 3 a.m. Global Mountain Time in the UK. Who is showing Smith Jr. versus Geffrard? Smith Jr. versus Geffrard will be broadcast on ESPN in the U.S. How do you stream Smith Jr. versus Geffrard? First of all, you can stream it on your on the cable channel, Hulu's Massive Line TV package. You can watch on Hulu via Apple, Android, Fire Stick, Roku devices, Smart TV, or your game consoles. Okay, like I said, you can get the pack. You can get the see here. It says 7 days of ESPN, ESPN2, FS1. Hulu TV is free with 1 month cost at $64.99. Okay, so if you ain't got it, that's how you get it, man. You can get it on, like I said, man, on the app. On the app. Let's see what else we got here on this fight. Let's see what the odds are. Joe Smith Jr. is currently, yeah, okay. Yeah, they have. Like I said, man, we don't know too much about this guy, Steve Geffrard. So yeah, they got Joe Smith Jr. massively winning this fight, just outright. They don't have Steve Geffrard even a chance winning this fight. But you can go ahead and bet on Steve Geffrard for the upset. You know what I'm saying? If you're a betting guy. But let's see. I think there's other fights on this card too, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into that. I want to talk about these other fights on this card. It's a pretty decent card too. Let's look and see what we got. Let's look and see what we got. If I can pull it up, man, I tell you, man. Let me see. Give me 1 minute here. So let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so there's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 other fights before the main event. So we're gonna start the fight in the featherweight division of Bruce Carrington versus Rafael Arores. It's a 4-round featherweight bout. Then we have Garcia Goldson versus Philip Carmouche, a 4-round junior welterweight bout. Then we got Jahi Tucker versus Akeem Black, a 6-round welterweight bout. Troy Isley versus Harry Keenan Cruz Cabano, a 6-round middleweight bout. Mar Rosario versus Raekwon Butler, a 6-round junior welterweight bout. And Lion Boyar Kinchuk versus Jose Mario Flores, a 10-round heavyweight bout. And then we have, I guess, the co-headliner. We got Abraham Nova versus William Incarnation. I guess that's how you say it. 10-round featherweight bout. And then you got the main event, Joseph Jr. versus Steve Geffrard, which is 12-round light heavyweight bout for the WBO title that Joe Smith holds. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, so it's gonna be a very good fight. I'm gonna go check and see how this guy Steve Geffrard looks, how he boxes, so I can get a good idea of what I'm gonna be seeing in that fight with him with Joe Smith. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some news. We got some news. Let's see what we got with the news. What do we got? Give me some news. Give me some news. Dun, 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 dun. What do we have? Well, today is the 9th. Is today the 9th? I think today's the 9th. So we're going to go, actually, we're going to go see, yep, today's the 9th. We're going to go and look back on, see what we got here. Let's go back to, let's go to the 8th, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the 8th and see what we got. Let's see here. It says Hearn believes Fury White purse bid could be delayed while WBC legal battle plays out. Let's see here. Let's go to that. Let's go to that. Let's see. It said Eddie Hearn believes the purse bid for the WBC heavyweight title fight between Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte could be delayed while White's legal dispute with the WBC is sorted out. A purse bid for the all-British fight is due to be held on Tuesday after WBC ruled that there will be an 80-20 purse split for the fight. But White's team is disputing this decision, while Frank Warren, Fury promoter, has said that the WBC champion will box on March 26th, whether that is against White or not. I expect the purse bid to be delayed, Hearn, White's promoter said. I don't see how it can go ahead with the arbitration case ongoing, but anything is possible. Absolutely think the fight will happen even at 80-20, and it's not about Dillian's split. It is about the valuation of the fight, and that will help us win the purse bid. But I think that will be delayed because of the arbitration, but that is down to the WBC. Hearn says that the wheels are already in motion to appeal the WBC ruling on the split, believing that in WBC rules, White as the interim champion should be entitled to more. White has already taken legal action against the WBC, move that initially delayed him being installed at mandatory challenger as the WBC convention. There's a lot going on legally behind the scenes with Dillian and the WBC. Hearn said, we are not all happy with the 80-20 split ruling there, and there is a process now that we have to go through over that to object, and that is happening now. There aren't really negotiations going on for the fight because we need to get to somewhere with the WBC where we get where we want. Rather than wait for another ruling, we want certain things through the arbitration that Dillian will negotiate for the fight and the split for the fight. The danger is Fury boxes on March 26th, and it won't be Dillian because the case is ongoing. But that is just to put pressure on Dillian to take a poor deal. He would accept it once an arbitration or court case has taken place because he feels very strongly. He feels 80-20 is not fair, but if the court of arbitration decide it is, then I think we will proceed. All right, let's finish the story up. Well, Fury's team will really want to go to a purse bid is also something that Hearn doubts, with Hearn as well as several other promoters likely to bid. If it goes to purse bids, then there will be no rematch clause, which should make Tyson Fury's promoters nervous. Hearn said, you never really want a purse bid. I have been in a lot of them as AJ's mentors like Kubrat Pulev and Alexander Povetkin. You never want to go to a purse bid because you lose total control of the fight. If it goes to purse bids, then a lot of people will bid, including us. The offers have come in to Dillian so far have not been acceptable, but the number will bid probably will be. So if he is no rush to take unfair deals, but we accept the split to be increased via the process we are going through. All right. Yeah, so that is definitely going on. That is holding up that fight. But like I said, like it was saying, Tyson Fury is talking about fighting in March. And they don't think this legal battle is going to end by then. So what they're going to do is freeze the belt. They're going to freeze the WBC belt that Tyson Fury has, so we can go on a fight in March. And I hope that Tyson Fury doesn't lose in March. I hope he doesn't lose, but if he does lose, I'm guessing he'll still have the WBC belt some kind of way, and he'll fight Dillian Whyte for the belt. So it's kind of crazy. So we got to see what happens with that, man. It's crazy, but that's what's going on right now. Dillian Whyte is trying to get a bigger purse that he thinks that he deserves. So we'll see what goes on with that. What's the next story? Luis Nunez continues to twist his way up with a stoppage on Showbox. Yes, I just talked about that fight. He looked very good, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what they say here. Luis Nunez continues to twist his way up with a stoppage on Showbox. You know what? That is his name. Luis the Twist Nunez. That is his nickname. On Friday night from the Caribbean Royale Resort in Orlando, Florida, Showtime Showbox, the new generation served up a bouquet of 6 fighters with unblemished records that promised to be sorted out as to who were real and who were not. The spotlight was certainly on Luis the Twist Nunez. Last September, the 22-year-old junior lightweight from the Dominican Republic wasn't supposed to beat previously undefeated Javon Garnett, and Nunez dominated him. Another undefeated fighter was placed in front of Nunez on Friday night in Carlos Ariete, and the Twist showed once again they may be burgeoning talent at 130 pounds. Stopping Ariete at 141 of the 10th, it looks like Nunez, 60 wins, 0 losses, 12 knockouts, may have bigger things ahead in 2022. The plan was to work Ariete, and I saw at the end that he was fading, and that's when I started to attack, Nunez told the ring after the fight. Then came the KO. I hope for a lot of good things in the future, but everything is up to my manager, Antonio Tinel Sr., and my promoter, Samskin Lukowicz. Okay. Ariete, 14 wins, 1 loss, 8 KOs, began opening up in the second round, attacking the body. Nunez may have had the heavier hands, though Ariete had the greater activity. Between the second and third rounds, Shalo Betancourt, Nunez's trainer, told his fighter he sensed that Ariete was tiring after 2 rounds. Betancourt told Nunez to let Ariete come forward and catch him coming in. It was sound advice that cured presence. Nunez worked up well up and down, landing a big left to the head with 128 left in the third. Ariete's work rate appeared to slow down in the third. He didn't answer Nunez as quickly as he had in the first 2 rounds. Ariete, however, still kept investing in the body. Nunez was sharper, splitting Nunez's high guard, Ariete's high guard. In the fourth, Ariete began coming forward again. Nunez by then seemed to find his range. His jab kept Ariete at a comfortable range, and that opened the overhand right. Sneaky body shots and short uppercuts, round after round. Nunez's superior skill set won out over Ariete's gritty approach, where Nunez admitted there was hesitance in stepping on the gas against Garnett in September. He didn't this time. With 157 left in the 10th round, Ariete, his left hand down despite getting smacked with overhand rights all night, got caught with a pulverizing counter right to the face. The punch buckled Ariete's knees, and Nunez, seeing Ariete in trouble, attacked, and this time closed the show, raining a barrage of punches on Ariete. Referee Frank Gentile saw enough and waved it over at 141. That was the final nail when I hit him with that straight right hand. Nunez said, "Once I landed that, I knew he was gone." The co-feature Otar Pitbull Armanagian had surprising ease, beating Starling Castillo by 8th round unanimous decision in a lightweight bout, 80-70, 2 judges, and 79-71, another judge. In the first round, Armanagian, 11 wins, 6 KOs, knocked down Castillo down twice. The first came from a Prestique left hook, catching Castillo, 60 wins, 1 loss, 12 KOs, cleanly on the jaw in a stunning state. He tried hanging on to Armanagian to prevent himself from falling. Armanagian shook him off and down with Castillo. Later in the round, Armanagian caught Castillo flush on the chin with a counter right. Once again, the second, Armanagian plowed Castillo with left, but the 26-year-old from the Dominican Republic absorbed it better. Armanagian wouldn't let Castillo breathe. The 28-year-old Georgian constantly smothered Castillo. He closed the 6th with a blunt right, which Castillo nodded, implying the shot didn't hurt, when it was pretty evident that it did. And this first TV fight, William Foster III won by an 8-round split decision over Edwin De Los Santos in a junior lightweight bout. Judges Eric Larson and Alexander Lehman each had Foster by 77-74, while Judge Efrain Lebron somehow saw it 77-74 for De Los Santos. A southpaw De Los Santos 22 started well in the opening 2 rounds, landing the heavier punches, but Foster 28 climbed back by the 4th when a headbutt opened a cut over De Los Santos' left eye with 133 left in the round. After being warned for holding, referee Frank Gentile deducted a point from De Los Santos for excessive holding. In the fifth, Foster 14 wins, 9 KOs turned into the stalker, pecking to the body to shrink De Los Santos' resolve. By the sixth, De Los Santos, 13 wins, 1 loss, 12 KOs, looked like he was out on his feet. His energy level appeared to be depleted. Foster was not overwhelming, though he was the more accurate puncher, and he seemed to do more than De Los Santos in the last 3 rounds. The punch stats were deceiving. They showed De Los Santos connecting on 125 of 421 total punches at a 30%, to Foster's 117, 468, 25%, and De Los Santos landed 110 to 72, 400% power shots, to Foster's 107 to 318, 34% percentage. Yeah, for what I saw, it looked like De Los Santos was throwing more punches. I saw the fight. I missed some of the fight going in and out, but I didn't even think it was that much holding for what I saw for the fight for them to deduct a point from De Los Santos. But whatever, the ref is in there. He see what he sees, and that's what it was. But it looked like De Los Santos was a much stronger fighter in the fight from what I could see. But whatever, I'm not a referee. I'm not a judge, so I don't know. But it was a good fight. The card was a very good card. Like I said, man, Luis Nunes he's a dangerous guy, man. Look out for him. Check him out. I look forward to see who he fights next. But he definitely got the skills to pay the bills. Let's see what else we got in the news. Usyk trainer, a fight with Tyson Fury would be a chess match. Let's see what goes on here. Let's see what they're talking about here. Let's see. Alexander Usyk assistant coach Sergey Lapin believes a fight with WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury would be a chess match. There's a huge size disparity, with Fury holding a tremendous physical edge over Usyk, who last year outboxed Anthony Joshua with over 12 rounds to capture the IBF, IBO, WBA, and WBO world titles. Before an undisputed fight can take place, Usyk will first take part in a rematch with Joshua, with their second fight slated to take place in the coming months. Fury is planning to make a deep defense of his title in late March. If both champions win, the stage will be set for an undisputed showdown. If you remember, a year ago, fans were waiting for a fight for the undisputed world champion in the heavyweight division between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. But literally in a moment, everything changed. At this stage, I think everything is possible. Everything is constantly changing. The battle for undisputed champion in the heavyweight division is a very cool event that has not been held for more than 20 years, they've been told my betting sites. If this fight between my fighter Usyk and Tyson Fury took place, it would really be a confrontation between the two guys with high boxing IQ. It seems to me the fight would be more like a chess game, and the victory be in the hands of the one who will perform his task as productively as possible. To date, there's no exact information about this fight, but recently I noticed that there is a lot of talk about it. Perhaps we'll find out something interesting very soon. If a fight between Fury and Usyk came together, the unified champion would have no problem traveling to foreign soil to take part in that contest, according to Laban. Maybe it's the UK, and maybe it's Saudi Arabia. Usyk is ready for any challenges, especially if he may have the opportunity to combine all the belts in heavyweight. His advantage over other heavyweight boxers is the ability to box, and it's worth a lot. Boxing is an art, and representatives of different styles arrange cool fights. Fury's style could be very dirty. If Usyk copes with Fury's dirty style, then victory will be his, like they said. You know what? That will be a very interesting fight. Like I said, Fury is a big guy, and Usyk, I think is like what 6'2", 6'3", and Fury's like what 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". Anyway, Fury's a big guy. He got long arms. Usyk is a very good boxer, but I don't know how he's going to even get close to Fury. I don't know. It'll be interesting, but hey, that would be a good fight to watch to see if Usyk could do the impossible. And I think that's going to be a very tall task for Usyk, but we'll see. I think that fight won't happen because I see Fury beating Dillian White. Whoever he's going to fight in March, I see him beating that guy. Then we'll get the White fight. Then Usyk is definitely gonna beat Anthony Joshua again. Definitely. Anthony Joshua is being trained by different guys. I think he's now being trained by Floyd Mayweather right now or something. But I don't see anything different happening in the second fight with Usyk. Usyk going to outbox Anthony Joshua again. Like I said, he's a more polished boxer. He's faster on the feet. It's just I don't see it. I don't see the rematch being anything different from the first fight with Anthony Joshua. Usyk would definitely beat Anthony Joshua again. We're still waiting for a date for that, and I'm looking forward to that to see what happens with that. What else we got here? Cruz promoter to Ryan Garcia. We are prepared to make you an offer with a purse you deserve. Let's see here. From what I heard, Ryan Garcia has already declined the fight with Isaac Cruz, and I think he's gonna be fighting Joseph Diaz. What I heard. But let's see. It appears that an actual fight between Ryan Garcia and Isaac People Cruz won't come of recent talks, though it hasn't prevented the two sides from trading blows online. The team surrounding Cruz has taken exception to claims made by Garcia and Golden Boy Promotions founder chairman Oscar De La Hoya that the Mexico City native has stepped away from talks for the fight. The two sides have rumored to be in negotiations for Garcia's planned return this spring, which will headline a Dodson show tentatively penciled in for April 2nd. De La Hoya went public with claims that Cruz was turning down a career-high payday, as did Garcia, who claimed the fighter known as Pitbull was more like a Chihuahua. Naturally, the comment wasn't going unchecked. Hey, Ryan, while Isaac Cruz may have few concerns in his life, in life, fighting you is not one of them. Sean Gibbons, Cruz's promoter, publicly stated in response to a previous tweet from Garcia, if you are serious about winning this fight next, we are prepared to make you an offer with a purse you deserve. Please tell us to whom we should direct that offer. Garcia, 21 wins, 18 KOs, has not fought since an off-the-canvas 7th-round knockout of England's Luke Campbell last January in Dallas, Texas. Cruz, 22 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 15 KOs, has fought 3 times since then, posting wins over unbeaten Jose Matias Romero and former titleist Francisco Vargas before coming up just short in a 12-round points loss to unbeaten rising star Gervonta Tank Davis is 26 wins, 0 losses, 24 KOs. All have come in the heels of Cruz's sensational first-round knockout of former title challenger Diego Magdaleno on Halloween 2020 at Alamo Dome in San Antonio. The heartbreaking loss to Davis saw Cruz in an 18-fight unbeaten streak, though also snapped Davis's 16-fight knockout streak heading into a Showtime pay-per-view main event, which Cruz accepted on just 5 weeks' notice in place of Rolando Rolly Romero. Let's see, we get back, let me go up something. Okay. It is clear that Cruz, whose last 5 fights have taken place on a Showtime branded platform, would like to remain put for his next fight and beyond. His team assisted resources are there to make that happen. And for Garcia, who boasts a strong social media presence, to expand his current fan base and bank account. Oscar, when you are ready to negotiate in good faith, we are happy to discuss giving this fight the platform it deserves. Gibbons noted to De La Hoya on pay-per-view with a legitimate network. Don't believe Ryan Garcia is ready to become a pay-per-view star. We are very happy to make you a real offer for more than you pay Ryan. Please call me. I am waiting by the phone. An optional plan for Garcia has yet to be publicly revealed. Speculation suggests that he will be wind up facing a fellow Golden Boy promoted lightweight in the event he and Cruz are unable to come to terms. Like I said, I've heard that that Ryan Garcia is going to be fighting Joseph Diaz when it's returned. Okay, that's what I heard. I'm not 100% sure yet. That's just hearing it through the grapevine. Anyway, let's see what else we got here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. What other news do we have? Let's see. We got a lot of news. We got a lot of news. Lots of news. Let's go here. Malik Scott on Deontay Wilder's future. It's a blessing to be in this position. Let's see what's going on with Deontay Wilder. Let's see. Trainer Malik Scott believes Deontay Wilder in a viable position as the later contemplates retiring from boxing. Wilder, the former WC title holder from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, recently hinted that his third match with Tyson Fury this past summer may have been the last time he enters the boxing ring. Fury won by 11th round TKO in a thriller. It's mixed feelings because ultimately I've accomplished all my goals in the sport, Wilder told Kevin Hart on an episode of Cold as Balls. I told my daughter when she was one that I'd be a champion and I'd be able to support her beyond her belief. I've done that. There's a lot of things that I've accomplished that I feel I have to prove to it. Okay, there's a lot of things that I've accomplished I feel I have to prove to anyone because I've already proven them. Should I push forward? Should I give it a go one more time? Or should I just retire and focus on other things that I already have, other things that I want to get into? Scott, who became Wilder's head trainer going to the third match against Tyson Fury, says he will support Wilder and whatever he chooses to do. Suffice to say, Scott thinks Wilder has nothing left to prove. I know people have been hearing about Deontay. Scott told Boxing News he has spoken about having the option to retire, which is true. Like I told him the other day, it's a blessing to be in his position. I told Deontay, bro, you can do whatever it is you want to do. If you stay in the game, you become two-time heavyweight champion of the world. If you retire, you've got everything you came for. Either way, you win. You know how many fighters that aren't in that position? They fight because they have to. They literally can't retire. The man started the sport because he wanted to take care of his daughter. He's done that. He became a WC heavyweight champion of the world. He's made financial gains as smart investments. He's in a hell of a position, man. Yes, Deontay Wilder has definitely accomplished a lot in boxing. And if he retires, man, hey, look, man, thank you for the great fights. Thank you for being a great champion. And if you do come back, I'm looking forward to it. But if not, hey, man, you put boxing on your back, the heavyweight division on your back. You carried it well. You did great, man. Thank you for the fights, man. We look forward to seeing what you do in the future. And what else do we got? Let's see. Usyk Joshua rematch looks set to land on April date in UK, says Hearn. Okay. All right. Let's see. The Alexander Usyk Anthony Joshua rematch looks set to take place outdoors in London in April, according to Eddie Hearn, which is a new trainer likely to be in Joshua's corner. Usyk took the WBO, IBO, and IBF heavyweight titles from Joshua at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in September, when Joshua quickly indicated that he would exercise his rematch clause in the fight contract. It was suggested that the fight could take place as early as February, but with Joshua still on holiday in Dubai and have been trying out new trainers, Hearn says April is down the likely date. I think April is realistic for that fight, Hearn said. Before you know it, it's going to be February, and these fights take a lot of organizing. For us, the preferred date and venue for the fight will be in the UK, in which case we would have to do the fight outside, so we're not really interested in doing that fight in March. AJ has been traveling relatively solidly since the fight. Realistically, if you start your training camp in February, even April becomes quite tight, but that is the preferred date for the fight, and I think that's realistic. Joshua had quoted last month suggested he might consider a step-aside deal to allow Usyk to face Tyson Fury, but Hearn insists that talks about such a deal never progressed, with Dillian White having been installed as Fury's mandatory challenger, and the possibility of Joshua stepping aside in the exception of facing the winner with no guarantee of that fight ever coming about. Conversations about the whole step-aside maneuvering kept popping up every now and again because of the desire to stage an undisputed fight at some point. With the Dillian White situation, those conversations became very difficult because you have another pawn in the negotiations, Hearn said. We got to the stage where almost like, let's crack on with the original plan, and that's where we're at. We've had 2 or 3 offers from different countries to stage Joshua versus Usyk. But for me, after the success of the Spurs fight, other than the result, I would love to do that fight back in the UK, possibly at Spurs again or at Wembley, because I feel like it's a must win for AJ. If we have the opportunity to stage a fight in the UK, we should do it. If he could win that fight, it would be pretty special. Hearn said the first time he mentioned the possibility of a step-aside deal, he did not know how Joshua would react. I was a bit scared to have a conversation with him. Hearn said, When I first mentioned it, he looked like he was going to kill me. Then I went back to it again and said, listen, if you feel there's something you should propose to me, but I'm telling you, I don't want to step aside. It would have to be something you feel was too big an opportunity to turn down. If we really need to go to that stage. We go to that stage when the mechanics of the procedure didn't make sense. I never formally went to him and sat down and said, this is how it's going to work. Once you step aside, it's not about the money. Of course, that comes into it. But it's more about the plan. To say, okay, if I'm working with a new trainer and have an interim fight, and then the fight of the winner of the Fury Usyk, that could actually make sense from a development point of view. But I don't want to lose the opportunity of challenging for the world title and get messed around. You're going to a point where you're running out of time, and to put on a fight of that magnitude and make sure contractually all the other people are satisfied and get what they want. In the end time ran out. We just said, let's do what we've got to do. So yeah, okay. So it looks like they're trying to put something together for April for the rematch. Like I was just talking about, I don't see Joshua beating Usyk in the rematch. I don't see it. I don't see anything being different. Usyk is a much smaller guy. He's a crafty guy. He's a very smarter boxer. I just don't think Joshua can do anything different than what he showed us. I mean, yeah, he was a different fighter with Fort Ruiz, was a little bit slimmer, all of that, but we're talking about, you learning how to box and a guy that already knows how to box. So it's not, only way I say Joshua winning this fight is if he caught Usyk with something clean and knocked him out. But I don't think Usyk is going to put himself in position to get knocked out clean. No. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I don't see this fight. I don't see Joshua winning this fight. I just don't. But we'll see. We'll see. What we got next? Barrios' move to welterweight was long time coming. Was harder and harder to make 140. Yeah, Mario Barrios is supposed to be fighting Keith Thurman in February. Let's see what's going on with that. Mario Barrios knew even before his last fight that a move to welterweight was already in play. In fact, it might have already taken place, if not for a lucrative showdown with Gervonta Tank Davis, prompting the former WBA junior welterweight titles to stay put for one more fight. Instead, the move comes in a dangerous showdown with former unified welterweight titleist Keith Thurman, 29 wins, 1 loss, 22 KOs, no decision. Atop a February 5th Fox Sports pay-per-view event from Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas. It was a long time coming already for myself and Barrios, confessed to BoxingScene.com and other reporters during a recent virtual press conference. I have a big frame. It was getting harder and harder to make 140 already. Even before the fight with Tank was made, we were looking to start thinking about fights in the welterweight division. When the opportunity came up, I said yes right away. I didn't want an easy fight for my first fight at 147. I told my manager, Luis de Cabos Jr., that I wanted to fight someone who has been at 147 for a while, who has fought the best, been in the ring with the best. Keith Thurman's name came up. I said yes right away. Barrios, 26 wins, 1 loss, 17 KOs, entered the fight on the heels of his lone career defeat at an 11th round stoppage at the lethal hands of Davis atop a June 26 Showtime pay-per-view from State Farm Arena in Atlanta. The loss ended his 21-month stay as a secondary junior welterweight titleist and ultimately served as the final fight at a weight at which the 26-year-old Barrios has campaigned since March 2017. The right opportunity could have kept him at the weight for maybe one more fight, though it made sense to just add the 7 pounds to his 5'10" frame. I could have stayed making 140 and says Barrios. Me and my team felt it was best for my body to move up to a fight at my more natural weight class. This is gonna be a very interesting fight, I think. I think Keith Thurman it's a possibility that Mario Barrios might put up a good fight with Keith Thurman. It possibly could be Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman has been out there a very long time. And to step in the ring with a guy like Mario Barrios that definitely can box, definitely has a little bit of power. It's all about activity. It's all about activity. I think Keith Thurman has been out the ring too long. He should have taken a softer a softer fight than Mario Barrios, but we'll see. I think Mario Barrios might come up with the upset. We're gonna see. What else we got here? Jason Maloney eager to land WBC eliminator against Nawapan Kaka. I mean, see these people, these boxers' names. Kawafan Kakana. All right, let's see here. Woo, man. Who is this guy? Australian Mayhem Jason Maloney is eager to secure his shot at WBC bantamweight champion Nonito Donaire as he looks to hammer down a final eliminator for the green and gold strap. Maloney defeated Joshua Greer in the middle of 2021, picking up the WBC silver title, which puts him closer to a shot at the full champion Donaire. Jason gave his thoughts on a potential clash with the legendary Filipino champion. He said, "I want to give him final eliminator for Donaire. I worked really hard to come back and improve fighter from the Naoya Inoue fight, and I believe I now have the skill set to push everybody in the bantamweight division. I think I showed that in the Greer fight. I want the WBC title. That's the dream. So if that means fighting Nonito Donaire, then so be it. It'll be a great fight against a great champion. Firstly, I have to get past whoever they put in front of me in an eliminator, and that looks to be a 51-1 fighter from Thailand. So that's my objective as of now. But fighting Donaire was on my Christmas last year. From a ranking standpoint, Thailand's Nophan Kakana sits at number 1 in the WC ratings at 118. And Maloney opened up about potential clash with the impressive Thai. Maloney said, Kakana is a quality fighter. You don't get to WBC number 1 if you're not. But if I can't get Donaire now, that's the fight I really want. So my team can put me in a position to fight Donaire. If I look, I can't look past Kalahana. I can't look past Kalahana. However, he's a quality fighter. I wouldn't want to fight anyone who wasn't quality to be my mandatory for the world title. My team, Dragonfire Boxing, led by Baron Tony Tolley, and Top Rank are looking to make that fight this year. Whether it's in Australia or America, I'm easy. I'll travel anywhere to fight. As I've shown before, I will go wherever it takes to become world champion. So Jason Maloney is looking to fight Nonito Donaire, and I don't know, Jason. Nonito Donaire is a different guy at like 39, 40. I don't know how old really he actually is, but Nonito Donaire is a different breed. You know what I'm saying? He almost beat that Nonito Donaire. He almost beat him. Not Donito. Naoya Inoue. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He almost beat him. It was a very good fight, but Jason Maloney, I don't think you're in that class with those guys. But we'll see. We will see. What else we got? What else do we have? Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall. We're the ones chasing her. All right, let's see what's going on with Clarissa Shields and the Savannah Marshall fight here. Clarissa Shields may be the most decorated women's boxer in a generation, but she is pursuing a chance to rectify the long loss of her boxing career, professional and amateur, with all the hunger of an underdog. WCWA and IBF middleweight champion Shields on track to face her better New Year Savannah Marshall, who once defeated Shields in the amateurs at a middleweight unification bout sometime in the summer of 2022. Marshall, who is the WBO middleweight titleist, is the one fighter to own a win over Shields in boxing. Both fighters have been circling each other for years, but attempts to make the fight, according to Shields, were repeatedly rebuffed by the Marshall side. We've been pushing for the Marshall fight, Shields told Seconds Out in an interview. We were in talks with Eddie Hearn. Then all of a sudden, we got close to a deal with Eddie Hearn and Marshall up and jumped to Sky Sports. We're the ones chasing her. She's not chasing us. We are talking to Eddie Hearn about getting a 2-fight deal, and right when we were close to getting it done, she disappeared, and now she's with Sky Sports. Boxer at Sky Sports reached out, and we didn't turn down the conversation. The grudge match will put up for grabs all 4 middleweight titles is now likely to happen, as both sides, Shields and Marshall, are now under the same broadcast and promotional umbrella of Sky Sports in the UK. Shields is still co-promoted by Dimitri Salita, Both boxers were initially scheduled to appear as co-headliners on the December card, but Marshall suffered an injury and the card itself was eventually canceled. Shields 11 wins, 0 losses, 2 KOs. Is expected to make her UK debut on February 5th against mandatory challenger Emma Kozin. Shields is coming off a defeat as a mixed martial artist, a split decision loss to Abigail Montez in October in what was her second MMA fight. With attention on the boxing, Shields has ramped up the trash talking against Marshall, 11 wins, 0 losses, 9 KOs. I don't need to fight her to prove that I'm better than her. I already know that she was told second out. I just want to fight her because they're trying to say that I've accomplished everything that I accomplished because she wasn't available. She turned pro before me. She had her opportunities. She chose to fight her opponents. Me and my team, Salida Promotions, sent her a contract in 2018 for her and me to fight at 168 pounds for the world titles I had then, but she didn't want to fight. Now the time has passed and she got her confidence up. She's doing a whole bunch of talking. It's not like we haven't been wanting to make a fight with her. That's one of the biggest fights in women's boxing besides Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. We've been pushing. Yes, I think that will be a very interesting fight. Clarissa Shields is a very skilled boxer, but it doesn't look like she has enough power to hurt Savannah Marshall. I've seen Savannah Marshall in the fight. She's a very strong female. Last fight I saw, she knocked the chick out. She's a very strong boxer. Very strong. I think I'm going to put myself out there and say Savannah Marshall can possibly knock Clarissa Shields out. That'll be her first loss in female boxing. I see Savannah Marshall beating the Clarissa Shields. That's just my opinion. I know y'all like to quote, but I think Savannah Marshall can knock out Clarissa Shields when that fight happens, and I'm definitely gonna be tuning in for that fight. What else we got here? Edgar Berlanga, Steve Rose set for March 19th at Madison Square Garden, Hulu Theater. All right. Edgar Berlanga's recovery from bicep surgery has gone as planned, which will allow the unbeaten super middleweight to return to the ring as expectedly early in the spring. Boxing.com has learned that a deal has been finalized for Berlanga to box Steve Rose in a main event ESPN will televise March 19th from Madison Square Garden's Hulu Theater in New York. Toronto's Rose, 21 wins, 1 loss, 12 KOs, has been Berlanga's targeted opponent since before the Brooklyn-bred Bangers' subpar performance against Marcelo Coceres on the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder undercard October 9th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Berlanga, 18 wins, 0 losses, 16 KOs, suffered a torn left bicep during the third round of Coceres' contest. Though that injury obviously hindered him offensively, Argentina's Coceres, 30 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 16 KOs, also exposed some of Berlanga's defensive flaws by landing numerous flush punches on him. In the ninth round, the Gritty Coceres connected with a counter right hand that knocked off balance Berlanga to the canvas for the first time as a pro. Berlanga seemed more angry than hurt once Coceres knocked him flat on his back. The prideful Puerto Rican fighter quickly regained control of the 10-rounder and defeated Coceres by the same score, 96 and 93, on the cards of judges Eric Cheek, Patricia Morse-Jaman, and Ricardo Ocasio. His victory over Coceres marked a second straight fight in which Berlanga went the distance. The 24-year-old Berlanga knocked out each of his first 60 opponents in the first round. The 37-year-old Rose, meanwhile, has lost only to Gennady Golovkin, 41 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 36 KOs. The hard-hitting IBO middleweight champion knocked out Rose in the 4th round of their fight in June 2019 at Madison Square Garden. Rose most recently dominated Philadelphia's Christopher Booker, 60 wins, 9 losses, 6 KOs, on his way to a 9th round technical knockout victory December 17th at the Bell Center in Montreal. If Berlanga beats Rose, he likely will headline another card June 11th at Madison Square Garden on the eve of the annual National Puerto Rican Day Parade in Manhattan. Edgar Berlanga will definitely beat Steve Rose. Steve Rose is a very talented boxer, but I don't think he'll be strong enough to keep Edgar Berlanga off of him. But it'll be a very interesting, very interesting fight. It'll be a very how can I put it? it's going to be one of those fights that's going to definitely see if Edgar Berlanga is ready to step up in bigger fights, okay? But I think Edgar Berlanga will definitely hurt Steve Rose and knock him out sometime in that fight. Let's see what else we got here. Marajan Akhmadov versus Marlon Tapalis. IBF formally orders mandatory title fight. All right, let's see what we got. Marajan Akhmadaliev quest for undisputed championship status will be slowed by at least one mandatory title defense. The unified IBF WBO junior welterweight titleist has been ordered to defend versus IBF #1 contender Marlon Tapalis. The fight was formally ordered by the New Jersey based sanctioning body on January 4th, with the two sides given until February 2nd to work out a deal to avoid a purse bid hearing. The mandatory title defense was due on or before January 3rd, 2022. Carlos Chavez, chairman of IBF Championship Committee, stated to Matchroom Boxing's Eddie Hearn, Akhmadaliev, and MP Promotions signed Gibbons Tapalis via official letter, a copy of which was obtained by boxing.com. The leading available contender is #1 Marlon Tapalis. Negotiations should commence immediately and be included by February 2nd, 2022. If you're unable to come to an agreement for this bout by February 2nd, 2022, the IBF will call for a purse bid. Akhmadaliev, 10 wins, 0 losses, 7 KOs, is represented by Hearn and manager Vadim Kornilov, and has twice defended his unified title since dethroning Danny Roman nearly 2 years ago. The unbeaten southpaw from Uzbekistan, who now trains out of Joe Diaz's facility in Indio, California, is coming off a 12-round unanimous decision over Jose Velasquez last December 19 in Manchester, New Hampshire. Velasquez was a late replacement for WBO mandatory challenger Ronnie Rios, who tested positive for COVID barely a week ahead of the fight. Okay. In the previous outing, Akhmadaliev scored a 5th-round knockout of IBF mandatory challenger Wayasek Wasa last April 3rd in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. The bout was his first in his home country since a amateur tournament in 2017, 1 year after capturing a bronze medal in Uzbekistan for Uzbekistan in the 2016 Rio Olympics. Tapalis enters talks armed with a swarm of boxing talent represented by MP Promotions, Sandman Boxing, Shapiro Sports, and Viva Promotions. It was a full court press by co-promoters to get the resurgent 29-year-old southpaw in Patagon, Philippines back in the title picture. Let's see here. The second round, a second round knockout of Hiroaki Teshigarawa. Okay, Hiroaki Teshigarawa came in IBF blessing as a title eliminator, honoring such a request by Tapalis' team. Tapalis rose to the occasion, throwing Teshigarawa 3 times in just 3 minutes and 6 seconds worth of ring action, and forcing the stoppage in their December 11th clash at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. These boxers' names are crazy. Trying to pronounce these boxers' names is like, whew, man. Per IBF purse bids rules, neither fighter is permitted to enter an agreement for another bout during the period of their ordered title fight. This prevents Akhmadaliev from pursuing bigger fights, such as the 4-belt undisputed showdown with WCWO junior featherweight titleist Stephen Fulton, 20 wins, 0 losses, 8 KOs. Such a fight was never formally discussed by either side, as both unified titleists seemed aware of mandatory title defenses looming ahead in the new year. Yeah, Akhmadaliev is a very strong boxer. And I don't know who this Marlon Tapalis is, but I would definitely check it out to see who they're trying to line up to fight, who they're trying to line him up to fight, to see what he brings to the table. But yeah, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Definitely. What else we got? Trevor Brown to defend WBA regular strap on Makabu Mashunu card. Let's see here. I'm still waiting to see when this fight is where it's gonna be televised at. It's Don King Promotions. Hall of Fame promoter Don King is coming home to Warren, Ohio to stage a championship night of boxing on Saturday, January 29th. Tickets for the night of boxing set at the WD Packard Music Hall in Warren, Ohio are on sale at Ticketmaster at the WB Packard Music Hall. The tickets are priced at $550, $350, $250, $175, and $80. Wow. The main event will pit WC Cruiserweight champion Ulunga Junior Makabu, 28 wins, 2 losses, 25 KOs, and the number one challenger, WBC silver champion Tapiso Mashuno, 23 wins, 5 losses, 13 KOs, and a mandatory rematch. The winner is hopeful for the opportunity to defend the title against Mexican superstar Saul Canelo Alvarez in May. Back in November, Canelo is currently the undisputed champion at middleweight, made an official request to the WBC to secure an approval to fight for the WBC title at cruiserweight. In addition to Makabu Mushunu, King has been busy working the phones to put together other fights for the night. King has now announced the WBA regular heavyweight champion Trevor Bryan, 21 wins, 0 losses, 15 KOs, who will feature in a co-main event special attraction. The two other championship fights will showcase NBA cruiserweight title as Johnny Langston, 9 wins, 3 losses, 3 KOs of Sarasota, Florida, will square off against Nick Kisner, 22 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, 6 KOs of Baltimore, Maryland. The NBA middleweight championship will be up for grabs as local product. Michael Moore, 18 wins, 3 losses, 8 KOs of Cleveland, Ohio, will meet Anthony Link, 17 wins, 7 losses, 7 KOs of Niagara Falls, New York. King hopes to add more fights to the card in the coming days. Yeah, I'm still waiting to see if where this fight's gonna be televised at. I'm pretty sure this fight will be televised on Fight TV, because that was the last Don King promotion fight I saw. It was on Fight TV, so I'm waiting to see if this will be on Fight TV, which I'm pretty sure it will be on Fight TV. All right, and that fight card, this fight card is actually going to be on the 29th, I think. This fight, the Makabu Mushunu card, I think is going to be on the 29th, if I'm not mistaken, of this month. But yeah, I'm still waiting to see where it's going to be televised at. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Let's move up here. We're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Yarde's trainer, we are next for Joe Smith. I like this fight. Lions in the camp. Lions in the camp, y'all. Lions in the camp. Let's see here. Caleb Johnson, who had to withdraw from this coming Saturday's WBO title shot with light heavyweight champion Joe Smith after getting COVID-19 on Wednesday, may find himself at the back of the queue. Johnson, 36, was due to fly out to New York this weekend ahead of the January 15th fight at the Turning Stone Casino in Verona. Top Rank have lined up a late replacement for Smith, but Johnson was a voluntary and he might not get another chance. That's because the WBO's #1 ranked contender is Anthony Yarde, and his trainer Tunde Ajayi said that they will have no hesitation fighting Smith in Yarde's next fight. We are next in line, asserted Ajayi for Dubai, where he is training the light heavyweight contender. Johnson was a voluntary anyway. He's not a mandatory. They picked him. I'd never be disrespectful and say he doesn't deserve the shot, because I think Caleb, more than anyone, deserves a bit of luck. It just so happens he was a voluntary and never a mandatory, so it's all left down to promoters. And the WBO has said, we're next, so it is what it is. That might sound hard on Johnson, who always wanted the Smith fight and who had completed a full camp before COVID came and took your dreams away, by Ajayi, said Yarde. But Ajayi said Yarde has no intention of missing out on Smith to let Johnson back in line. Why would we? He asked why would we? He asked rhetorically. We are next in line. That's how it goes. It's us. I'm in the Anthony Yarde business. That's just how it goes. Remember last year, that was the position we were supposed to be in. We want to forget about 2020, but we came back, did what we were supposed to do last year, and we're in position now. We've earned our right. We've knocked out the number one, who was Lyndon Arthur, and we gave Lyndon the opportunity first of all. We didn't need to fight Lyndon, but nobody expected the things which occurred to occur with Anthony and his family and all those deaths. Arthur took the opportunity, but there was a rematch clause, and we settled the score. We're in the position. It's us. We're not waiting for nobody. It's that if that's what the WBO calls, that's what Frank, as the promoter, says we have to do, then we'll fight. Ajayi was referring to several losses the Yard family had to do to COVID-19 in a year that wound up with him suffering the second defeat of his career to Lyndon Arthur, having lost to Sergey Kovalev in Russia. Tunde said Tunde says they were not contacted by being Johnson's stand-in next week, but said they would have no interest in having the fight as a late replacement when they are set in the number one position by the WBO. We went out to Russia, Tunde continued. We've done it the hard way. Nobody's giving us any favors. We're not about to jump in a week's notice. I want to do that as Anthony's manager. People keep forgetting that I'm the manager. People overlook the fact I'm manager and trainer. Smith Yard is a big fight. We were lined up to fight the winner, so it isn't like we've been given a golden ticket because we've earned the spot. That's how it goes. British fight fans hope the best light heavyweights in the country. British fans hope the best light heavyweights in the country all fight one another. Arthur is still in the mix. Dan Aziz arrived last month with a big win over Hosea Burton, and there's Joshua Buatsi, Johnson, and Craig Richards. Go down here. Nobody ain't just getting us in Britain for fighting nobodies, Ajayi went on. They got to fight people. They got to fight a Caleb Johnson, or they got to fight each other. Why not Dan Aziz against Buatsi? I don't think Craig Richards will call us out. I used to train him, but this is boxing. And if a world title's on the line, then sometimes you got to put your friendships to one side, but people have to earn their way the right way. We've earned our right. Even so, Ajayi doesn't believe those all UK contests will happen soon. People are always going to want the best of British to fight each other, but only just now are we seeing Kell Brook against Amir Khan, he added. We've never got Wayne Alexander against Steve Roberts or Richard Williams. Boxing doesn't change. It's always the same narrative in the business. It's going to be, it's got to be rich. It's got to be right for everybody. Of course, people earn their way into positions, and you don't just fight because people say, let's fight. It doesn't work like that. The big fights always happen at the end. They don't do it at the beginning. Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, the list goes on and on. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, and then you got the new guys fighting the old guard. Saul Alvarez versus Miguel Cotto, Alvarez versus Shane Mosley. There's a mythology of how boxing works, and if you're talking about British light heavyweights, who apart from us has fought the guys? We took on an unbeaten fighter in Lyndon Arthur, went over to Russia. There aren't many British fighters who have stepped up to the plate the way we have. Like I said, Anthony Yard versus Joe Smith Jr. will be a very good fight, and I think Anthony Yard would definitely beat Joe Smith. I think he'll knock him out. Let's see, man. Let's see if Joe Smith Jr. can get past this guy's Steve Geffrard, and we'll see. I'm looking forward to that one. I think, like I said, Anthony Yard is the guy to beat. He'll definitely beat Joe Smith. Let's see what else we got. Derek Chisora would embrace the opportunity to fight Deontay Wilder. Okay, let's see. I didn't think Derek Chisora would turn that fight now. We was talking about that last week. Heavyweight veteran Derek Chisora would embrace the opportunity to face former world champion Deontay Wilder. Eddie Hearn, promoter of Chisora, believes his boxer will be the perfect opponent for Wilder's comeback. Wilder has been stopped in his last 2 ring outings, which includes his fight of the year knockout loss to Tyson Fury last October. Chisora has lost 3 outings, a decision loss to Alexander Usyk, and a pair of points defeat to Joseph Parker. During his rematch with Parker, which took place last month, Chisora took a lot of punishment and suffered 3 knockdowns. Wilder is looking to return to the ring in the coming months. and his handlers will be searching for a perfect dance partner. Chizore's trainer Dave Caldwell has made it very clear that he's personally not on board with his boxer facing Wilder in the future. He would like to see 38-year-old boxer fight a softer touch or two. However, Chisora is never one to back away from any challenge and has no issue with facing Wilder or anyone else in his planned ring return. I'm open to anything. I love fighting. What most people don't understand is some people want to have the perception of being boxers on Instagram. Chisora told Sports, I'm not that guy. I want to be that guy that when I sit down and everybody looks at my resume, I want to say, you know what? I fought everybody in my era. I don't want to let people decide for me. I decide for myself and be happy with the decision I make. So if I have to fight Deontay Wilder, if I have to fight whoever, if I have to fight an American, I don't care. I will fight. I think Derek Chisora's trainer, manager, whatever. I don't think they should put him in the ring right away with Deontay Wilder. Let him get his let him get a good touch up, let him get his confidence back, and then put him in there. But hey, if Derek Chisora want to jump in the ring with Deontay Wilder, I mean Deontay Wilder's coming off of a loss too. We just got to see. But it'd be a good fight. Definitely a good fight. Definitely one of those fights where, whoo, man, Derek Chisora comes at you. So if Deontay Wilder ain't ready for that, it might be a mess. But hey, I'll be definitely tuned in to see that one. Let's see what else we got here. Steve Geffrard, short notice or not, Joe Smith is a tough opponent for anybody. All right. Let's see what this guy has to say here. Let's see, Steve Geffrard. Let's see. He has sparred the best. Now Steve Geffrard is ready to fight against one of the best. On Friday, Geffrard agreed to step in as a replacement opponent for Caleb Johnson, who tested positive for COVID-19 versus WBO Light Heavyweight titleist Joe Smith Jr. with just over a week's notice. Smith will make the first defense of his title January 15th in an ESPN televised main event from Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York. Geffrard, 18 wins, 2 losses, 12 knockouts, 31, told the ring Saturday morning that he didn't hesitate to accept the daunting task, and he was already preparing for a fight against Argentina's Gonzalo Andriezan. 7 wins, 8 losses, 6 KOs, and an 8-rounder in Delray Beach, Florida. I was actually looking forward to watch Caleb Johnson and Smith fight. Their style matchups would have made for a great fight, you know. He stated, I was sitting in the sauna and my coach Kevin Cunningham called me and said, man, you're never going to believe this. They just called for you to fight Joe Smith Jr. for the title. I was like, wow, this is insane. It's crazy. That's how boxing works. One call like that can change your life. This was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. However, this is an irrefragable difference between a legitimate world title holder and a journeyman. Geffrard is aware of this, but he has asserted that his previous experience working with unbeaten unified 175-pound belt holder Artur Beterbiev, a long-reigning former titleist Sergey Kovalev, and Olider Alvarez prepared him for this moment. Sparring Artur was a great learning experience. That guy, he's a beast. He has devastating power. I work with Olider Alvarez, the Colombian who was stalked by Joe Smith, also helped Kovalev with several camps. I thought he hit hard. But Beterbiev, that guy, he's a whole different type of power. He has a whole different type of power, and he keeps his poker face on the whole time. He cuts the ring off. He's a beast. 32-year-old Smith, 27 wins, 3 losses, 21 KOs, ranked number 3 at 175 pounds by the ring, who won the vacant title last April, was a majority decision win over Maxim Blasov, was praised by his upset-minded opponent. Smith is just a real tough guy. Short notice or not, he's a tough opponent for anybody. He just keeps coming forward. He's a very well-conditioned and has good power. I'm mentally prepared and focused for a tough guy. The Smith fight will serve as just his second bout in nearly 5 years, following a 4th-round stoppage of Zoltan Seda in April 2018. Geffrard was nowhere to be found in 2019 or 2020 other than gym. I suffered an injury right after the Serra fight. Then it was just hard for me to get fights at Geffrard Field. I had no promoter. My manager passed away. Just typical boxing business stuff. When I started training with Kevin Cunningham, we got good things rolling again. Geffrard told the ring he was unable to reveal how much he would earn to face Smith, but also stated that money was not his main motivation for accepting the fight. Finances are great, but what's more important to me is being able to fight for a world title. We continue. I know many fighters that have trained their whole lives for an opportunity like this, and they never were able to fulfill it. For me to even get this call is just insane. I won't let this opportunity go to waste. We will see what Steve Geffrard has. Like I said, I'm going to check him out and see what he brings to the table. Let's see. Benavidez fires back at Team Canelo. If he's not going to fight me, he needs to vacate the titles. I see. I kind of see what he's saying. I kind of see. But man, Canelo, he does what he wants to do at his own pace, at his own time. He's just the man, the name and the face of boxing. You can't make him do anything. All right, so it's all business, not personal. For 160-pound ace David Benavidez Jr., as it relates to his desire to fight the division's unified kingpin Canelo Alvarez. The hard-hitting super middleweight contender is ranked #1 in the WBC and has said repeatedly for a while now that he has his crosshairs on Alvarez. The 25-year-old from Phoenix has been trying to regain his perch in the division after losing the WBC titles twice for extracurricular reasons. But in a recent interview, Eddie Reynoso, Alvarez's manager and trainer, rebuffed Benavidez's advances, criticizing his supposedly lackluster resume and that Alvarez would have no motivation to fight him. If you look at his record, he has not beaten anyone. The most he has done is a win over Anthony Durrell, who for me is a champion who did not have a great run. Somewhat mediocre at 168, Reynoso told Diego Benavidez, many have called Benavidez overrated. What motivates us to fight? What motivates us to fight? What motivates us to fight with him? He has won particularly nothing. He fights with C-class opponents. Benavidez took exception to those comments. It kind of like frustrates me now that everybody's coming out and saying that I haven't fought nobody, that I've never fought on pay-per-views. I'm nobody, this and that. Benavidez said, obviously referring to Reynoso's remarks, an interview on the Colin Russ Annenberg podcast. You can say all that, but I'm going through the ranks at super middleweight. I've been #1 like 3 fights already. I've been beating the people I have to beat. People love to see me fight, so why wouldn't he want to fight me? I feel like it'd be a great fight for the fans and for boxing. The way Benavidez has 25 wins, 0 loss, 22 KOs sees it. Alvarez 57 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 39 KOs, has no choice but to fight me. So as long as Alvarez decides to stick around at 168, Alvarez is hinted at a move up to the cruiserweight position in his next bout. After that, Benavidez has no plans to competing in any other weight class anytime soon. They can say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, I'm still winning my fights. I'm still #1 in the super middleweight division, and the people are going to keep calling for that fight, Benavidez said. So they can say this and that, but I'm here to stay. If they don't fight me now, they're going to have to see me in the future because I'm not going nowhere. Benavidez also has a simple counter argument to Reynoso's point about his poor resume. Alvarez fought lowly Avni Yildirim, 24 wins, 4 losses, 13 KOs last February, stopping the Turkish native inside 3 rounds. But most importantly, Benavidez wants desperately to gain his WBC title. He lost the first time for testing positive for cocaine and lost it again on the weight scales heading into his bout with Romer and Angulo in 2020. If Alvarez truly has no desire to give me a shot, but Benavidez thinks the Mexican superstar needs to move over and relinquish his belts. If he's going to stay at 168, he should fight the #1 at 168. Benavidez stated he fought the #1 contender with the WBC title when it was vacant. Yildirim hasn't fought nobody. He took care of him. If he's going to be at 168, he has to fight me. If not, he's not going to be at 168. If he's not going to be at 168, vacate all the belts. He can't pick and choose if he's going to 175 or if he's going to go to 200 pounds or whatever he's going to do. He can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants to do. If people are going to say he's picking and choosing that over for other people to say, I stay in my lane. I have tunnel vision. My main focus is the titles. So he's not going to fight. He needs to vacate the titles. Let me fight for the titles. Benavidez Benavidez, though, had nothing bad to say about Alvarez on a personal level. He just wants the shot at him inside the ring. I take nothing away from Canelo, Benavidez said. He's the best pound for pound right now. I feel like he's really good. Like I said, I still want my shot at him. I still feel he has yet to face somebody like me in the super middleweight division. I'm fast, strong, young. I throw body shots, punches and bunches. I feel like I give him the best fight. I feel like I could beat Canelo 100%. I just need my opportunity. I don't think Canelo's gonna fight Benavidez until he sees a weakness in Benavidez's game. The last time Benavidez had a hard fight, I forgot what the guy's name. But since that he finished that fight, you know, he had a rematch with the guy, and he took him out of there. He got him out of there. Since then he's been like on the streak where it's like he just, you can come at him or you do whatever. Benavidez is not having it. He's knocking guys out. He's a different breed. I think Canelo knows he's a different breed. He knows he's hungry, and until he sees something, another gap in his arsenal, Canelo's probably not going to take that fight. Canelo wants to see. He's kind of, okay, put like this: Canelo is kind of like a Floyd Mayweather. He's not going to fight you until he sees where he can get, where he sees flaws in your boxing skills. So until we see some real flaws in David Benavidez, Canelo is not going to touch David Benavidez until we see some flaws that he can capitalize on. But like I said, man, that'll be a great fight. People are calling for that fight, and that is the fight that definitely will test. I think will definitely test Canelo. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it of the news, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's the news. That's the news. That's it of the news, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We got the fight. We got a fight this coming Saturday, January 15th. Like I said, I think the card starts at 8 p.m., but the main event starts at 10. Like I said, it's going to be on ESPN, ESPN Plus. Joe Smith Jr. versus Steve Geffrard. Joe Smith Jr. is putting up his WBO World Light Heavyweight Championship belt against last-minute replacement Steve Geffrard. I'm going to check him out, see what he brings to the table. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is No Nonsense Boxing. Thank you for tuning in. It's the place to come to get you boxing news, upcoming fights. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you then.